Today is post-op day 8 from my tummy tuck surgery, and I have to remove my own sutures from my belly button. I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride. This is gonna be weird. See, technically I was supposed to do it yesterday, but Taylor was a little bit not 100% comfortable and she was a little bit worried. And to be honest, I don't blame her. So I'm just gonna do it myself. I mean, I have a nursing background, I know what I'm doing. And I did it before on my own nipples, so this should be no different. And trust me, you'll want to stay till the end of this video because I actually let you guys know which is my major sponsor that I'm actually leaving. You know, another side note, my drain actually took out 25 yesterday, which was a little bit higher than they wanted for 20. And because of my abdomen is pretty lean, I don't have a lot of fat in the area, the issue with that is that it would be much easier to cause a serotonia. So we're going to have to wait until this is actually 20 for 2 days. So first off, I do actually need to send check-in pictures to my coach. So I'm just gonna do that really quickly. You can see where the liposuction pad sits under because it creates these like really crazy lines where here there's not a lot of water, here there's a bunch. Usually for my check-in pictures I flex, but because I can't flex my abdomen whatsoever, I'm just gonna take some profile shots. And I'm going to flex my legs to showcase the water that I'm holding. And before we do anything else, we're gonna go weigh ourselves to see how the water's coming off. On Sunday I was 264.9. Yesterday I was 257.4. So the water's coming off nicely. Let's see where we are at today. Wow, 252.8. That means we're down almost another 5 pounds. Good. So for the tools that I have to use today, we have scalpel, different type of tweezers. I'm gonna use some alcohol swipes to rub everything down and make sure everything's clean before I use them. And then I got a Tegaderm and a small gauze to recreate this afterwards. Oh right, I'm supposed to put something inside of it to keep it from closing. She told me to get a pebble. I'll be right back. One of these should work. Just gonna clean them super well. Then I'm gonna rub them with some rubbing alcohol just to be safe. The last thing you wanna do is get an infection in your belly button. Because it's not exactly a skin graft, but they do cut your belly button out and then reattach it to the new surface, right? So it's not really something you would want to play with, because if that got infected, I'm sure that it could be pretty catastrophic. And while these dry up, let's take out some stitches. Just gonna wipe down the tools as well, because in the off chance that I do nick myself a little bit, I would rather it be clean. Keep the instruments clean when I don't use them. I'm going to put them inside of a bag of an alcohol swab. Again, just for cleanliness. So, the anatomy of a stitch is actually quite simple. And the way to take it out, just as simple. What you want to do is you want to try to grab the top of the knot, and then you want to cut right under the knot while holding onto it. Because then, after you cut one side, you'll be able to just pull it out. Dr. Law does his incredibly small, if it's the same as my belly button, if it's the same as my nipples, sorry, which means that this should be interesting. So first off, let's remove this bandage. So right now, all he has on top is he has a Tegaderm on top of a small gauze. As gross as this is, and this is just something that I've gotten to know, I can smell what an infection smells like. So smelling this is just one way to know if things are healing properly. It is probably gross to the average person, but your safety is more important than smelling something. And I can tell you that this just smells like whatever chemicals was used, which is not chlorhexidine, but another sort of like sterile solution. So I know that this is healing properly. Yes, it might seem gross. You know what's more gross? Getting a full-fledged infection and landing your ass in the hospital. The smell you're looking for is essentially anything that would be foul. If it doesn't smell right, go get it checked. Don't wait until it gets worse. So we're going to start by removing inside dressing, which should just come out fine. Perfect. Throw that in the garbage. And then let's see how much of an impossible task this is going to be. Okay. This is going to be hard. Oh boy. Eesh. But I have full confidence in myself that I can do this properly and safely. If not, I would not do it. We'll start with an easy one. So all you want to do is you want to pull on it a bit outwards until you see the stem sticking out, and then very, very gently slip. While making sure not to cut both ends out, because if you cut both ends, the little piece of plastic is going to stick inside of your wound, and that's not what we want. So what you're looking for is, I have no idea if it's gonna work or not, but what you would want to look for essentially is that you see the circular end of it. And that's 2. See, that was a perfect example. I actually messed that one up. I cut both ends out and I had to make sure to get the little extra piece of stem. And this is what it looks like. Perfect. So what I want you guys to see here, this one over there, this one over here, this one over there is good. There's a little circle at the end, it's attached. This one is not good because I cut both ends from under the knot, I had to make sure to get the little circular piece afterwards. So we keep going. Good. 4. So that's 4, we're gonna do one more. This one is so tiny, I thought I messed it up, but it's tiny. Now I do wanna say that I definitely recommend that you actually get someone to help you do this. I know I have steady hands. I spent 8 years studying medicine, doing my paramedics first, and trauma care into my RPN, into my RN, my registered nursing bachelor's. I spent a lot of time in the ORs and preceptorship in the ICU, so like I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this safe. If you've never done this before, get someone else to help you, but make sure they are confident and that they have steady ass hands. Last thing you want to do is get cut around an incision site and get an infection. And I know that you can probably go to some clinics or ask for some nurses. Everybody knows a nurse. Just post on your social media, hey, looking for a nurse, I'll give you 20 bucks. And now we're gonna play a game of which one's your pebble? Okay, I have to be honest, I am not the biggest fan of using a pebble. The idea of sticking an object that was outside in an orifice, it doesn't really jive well with me. Again, I'm sure it works. Obviously, Casey the nurse did it for herself. Just with my compromised immune system from my Crohn's disease, I have trust issues when it comes to that, as anybody should when it comes to their own safety. So I'm just gonna make a ball of tape and I'm gonna use that instead. And this way I can also customize it to whatever size I need it to be. Perfect. Yeah, it jives better with me. So essentially I just used some micropore paper tape and I just rolled it up into a little ball. So next up I'm gonna take a piece of gauze using a Tegaderm. First we're gonna put in the ball of, I guess I'll just zoom in here. It's cool too, because I'm starting to lose so much water, I'm starting to see my abs again, which is really exciting. Can't wait for all this little water to go away though. So, put the ball of tape inside. Put the piece of gauze on top. And then apply the Tegaderm. Tegaderms are honestly pretty expensive on Amazon, so use them sparingly. But the Tegaderm is what's going to keep the entire thing fully waterproof. And now that it's applied, you just remove the little thing around it. And there you go. You now have a waterproof dressing. It's the same stuff that's around my drain sites here that's keeping my sites fully occlusive when I shower. And before I tell you guys about one more thing that is a little bit concerning to some the first time they see it, until you realize that it's normal, I just want to give a massive shout out to my client. His name's Nicholas. We've been together for 6 months now. He's lost 20 pounds of weight, but he's lost a lot more than that in fat. Look at this. Fully natural. This guy's putting on a bunch of muscle while he's losing the weight. He's looking great. He's feeling a hell of a lot better. And he said that he found me through Will Tennyson and that I was one of his biggest inspirations. So Nicholas, fuck killing it. Let's keep going. If you need any help, let me know. But for the next thing that can be a little bit concerning to some, we're going to talk about blood clots in your Jackson Pride drains. And this might weird out, gross out some people, so just, you know, please don't fucking demonetize me. That would suck. So this is a Jackson Pride drain. The way it works is by negative pressure. If I open up this little valve here, you'll see that it will inflate. And then the juices come in here through pressure, through negative pressure. So I'm just gonna do this really carefully, don't spill it everywhere. Good. So you press on it, you put it back, and now you have negative pressure. It technically sucks out the lymphatic drainage from you. There is about 5% blood, like maybe 5 to 7% blood at the start of it, but over time as it heals, this becomes more clear, it becomes better, and then when it drains under 20, then you can take them out. And the one on my left side is a lot shorter than the one on my right side. So when you have a lot of drainage still happening, you can actually have blood clots that come into your tube and then into the actual reservoir. If you're squeamish, you might want to skip this part, but it's really nothing that should bother you because it's just normal bodily function. The issue is blood will clot when it is not moving, right? That's why people that have atrial fibrillation are in danger of eventually having strokes, because when the blood isn't moving in your heart, it'll stay stagnant, it'll clot, that creates problems. So when it just lives in your tube here and it does not move very quickly, it can create clots. There is a decent sized clot in this bag right now. I'm gonna show it to you, just so you know what to expect. You can see the little jiggly. This is just blood that coagulated inside the tube and then eventually made its way into the Jackson Pride drain. It is nothing to worry about. It is perfectly normal. Don't freak out. The first time I saw it, I was like, what the f is this? And then I kind of put 2 and 2 together and it made sense. So for some quick little side notes, I have been starting to cramp a little bit and that scares the shit out of me because if I get an ab cramp, that would suck. So I'm gonna take a lot more of the PVL Pro H2O, which is a crazy electrolyte supplement. I'm gonna double up on this for the next few days because I'm losing so much water weight really fast, so my electrolytes kind of flushing out. We're gonna monitor this one to see if it drops under 20, and we'll take it out tomorrow if that's the case. But otherwise, that is it for today's video. Thank you as always for showing up. Let me know if there's anything specific you would like for me to cover in these daily videos. But as always, let's change the world together. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to say, the brand that I'm leaving is Alpha Elite. Come back tomorrow and I'll sit down and explain exactly what happened and why I decided to leave.